Police officers with checkered pasts have been able to avoid accountability. Some finding a second or third act in the new departments just down the road. It's not supposed to work that way, but it is happening far too often.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host Peeps, and today's video comes to us from Warren, Michigan. I will never overlook the importance of accountability after learning about Officer Damian Player's misconduct. Years before facing criminal charges for a violent tasing incident, Officer Damian Player was involved in a similar case of misconduct in Highland Park. Despite clear violations of department policy, this early incident was not addressed with the severity it demanded. Welcome to Domination Nation Perceived Authority, where cops investigate themselves and find no wrongdoing.
The incident was similar. It involved a taser, it involved excessive force.
This is the story of how one police department's decision to keep an officer's misconduct quiet
You gonna hit me with the door? Are you gonna tase me too?
allowed him to inflict even more pain just down the road.
Open the door, you get tased. Boss man, you gotta bounce.
On a rainy afternoon in May of 2020, Highland Park Public Safety Officer Damian Player is called to the Burger King along Woodward Avenue. He's working a police shift on this day, responding to a call of a man loitering outside the restaurant.
Man, what part of leave do you not understand?
The man, who police would later suspect was homeless, ignored the officer's commands. So, from the front seat of his police car, Officer Player does what department policy says he shouldn't. He pulls out his taser and takes aim. Taser didn't take effect, so Player gets out of his vehicle and begins following the man, who starts to cross the street while hurling expletives.
Know why I say the police? Because of you.
Before long, Officer Player joins in with name-calling of his own, at one point calling the man a homophobic slur. After trading insults, both men appear to walk away. But just as it seems things are coming to an end, Officer Player turns around and follows the man again. He briefly assumes a fighting stance before turning around and walking away. Then watch this. With the man's back facing the officer, Player deploys his taser again, then takes the man to the ground.
Now stay down.
Watch the video again. As Player takes the man down, he strikes his head hard on a concrete building, then lays motionless on the wet pavement.
Taser deployed.
The man appears unconscious, even as Player tries to wake him.
Yo, wake up, man.
What does it say to you that Officer Player tased the man while he had his back to him?
In this case, it wasn't appropriate. The taser should not have been utilized in that instant.
James McMahon was a sergeant with Highland Park PD at the time of the incident.
It's a scary situation. Someone just hit their head. It's not a situation where we should have been involved in that. It's disappointing. I mean, that individual didn't deserve that.
The man would eventually regain consciousness and was taken by ambulance to a hospital. An internal affairs investigation concluded that Officer Player violated the department's code of conduct and taser policy.
Was Officer Player disciplined for this?
Other than removed from police services, no. The legal department just removed him from police services but allowed him to work fire department.
So the solution to this misconduct was to take a police officer and turn him into a full-time firefighter.
Correct.
McMahon says Player's discipline was handled by then City Attorney Terry Ford, who, he said, pushed to suspend, not terminate Player, and remove him from the police services in Highland Park.
Is this referred to the prosecutor?
It was not.
Should it have been?
It would be today.
Next, police officer Damian Player.
The following year, Officer Player would join the Warren Police Department.
Hopefully I could represent the city well, my family well.
But less than 2 years later,
Open the door, you get tased. Open the door now, you get tased.
Officer Player and his partner would be involved in this traffic stop. The man was charged with nothing, but the officer's conduct was so egregious that the city of Warren paid out a $400,000 settlement barely a month later. Player and his partner were charged with assault and then fired. This July memo about Player's misconduct said he dangerously escalated the situation, causing injury to the subject of the investigation. These actions could place the city in a position of civil jeopardy and should not be brushed aside lightly, the memo said. It was made out to Kevin Coney. The memo was never shared with Warren PD when they came to review Player's personnel file, and according to their background investigation, Chief Coney gave his officer a clean bill of health. He had no issues with Player, an investigator wrote, and there was no discipline in his file. In fact, when Player left Highland Park PD, Chief Coney reported he departed in good standing.
3 years later, he was criminally charged over the very same type of conduct that Highland Park helped to conceal.
Highland Park didn't don't keep, okay. If that's your word, it just wasn't dealt with.
It was never shared with the department that hired him.
Okay.
This is a story almost no one in Warren City Hall wants to talk about.
She's just not taking meetings?
Right now she's currently in a meeting.
She's in a meeting.
About police misconduct that police don't want to explain.
I don't know why you're making us have to show you walking away from these questions.
And the lengths we had to go to just to find out something you should have been told a long time ago. We all remember this video from June when Warren police officer Matthew Rodriguez was seen punching a man in lockup, then slamming his head to the ground. Criminal charges filed later that month made major news.
The video in question is from a surveillance camera in the booking room at the Warren jail at around 6 a.m. last Tuesday. In it, you can see a 19-year-old suspect who had been arrested for at least 2 felony charges in Officer Matthew Rodriguez. Shortly after Rodriguez stands up, he strikes the 19-year-old in the face and takes him down to the ground, then quickly delivers several additional blows, later slamming the 19-year-old's head into the ground while holding a handful of his hair. Police say within an hour, the 2 arresting officers who also appear in the video reported Rodriguez's possible misconduct to their supervisor. The Warren Police Department says within a few hours' time of the incident, an internal affairs investigation was underway. Officer Rodriguez was put on administrative leave by 9 o'clock that morning. Police Commissioner Bill Dwyer says he wanted to release the video as soon as possible in an effort to be transparent.
It's very sad. I mean, the men and women in this department, they do not deserve to be looked at as another Rodriguez. And that's what happens in law enforcement. It's the perception. You have one person, such as Officer Rodriguez, and it gives a black eye to every man and woman that is wearing the blue uniform.
But the next month, when 2 more Warren officers ran into trouble with the law, well, Warren officials kept that one quiet. We found out about it by filing a public records request with Warren PD asking for every lawsuit payout since 2018. The biggest settlement by far, $400,000 paid out to a man in August. The city said it was for a false arrest.
Open the door now! The 2 Warren police officers seen in this body camera video in a violent struggle with a semi-truck driver in July of 2023 have now been arraigned for assault. The Macomb County Prosecutor's Office said Friday officers Damian Player and Carlos Taylor used unnecessary force when arresting the truck driver during an out-of-jurisdiction traffic stop that happened in Centerline. But sources say the victim's legal team settled the case in record time, taking just over a month, agreeing to a payout of about $400,000.
I've been with Feiger Law for 24 years now, and never in my career have I ever seen a case from the date of the incident get resolved within 33 days. I think there's a lot of curious circumstances that have a lot of questions that are unanswered that I do think that Warren should be transparent and answer.
Now terminated, Warren Police Commissioner Bill Dwyer sent Fox 2 a letter he originally sent to another media outlet about the Centerline case, saying the victim in this body camera video never filed a complaint against the department and that the city's legal department handled the settlement, not Warren Police. Dwyer also says he kicked the case over to the Macomb County Sheriff's Department for an independent review. This week he defended his tenure as Warren's top cop.
I think my reputation speaks for itself as far as my integrity, my professionalism, and my commitment to the job.
Problem is, we couldn't find a lawsuit filed by that man, not in circuit court or in federal court. And the reason, we would later learn, is because there wasn't one. The city settled the entire case without a lawsuit even being filed. And it wasn't just a big settlement, it was a lightning fast one. The city paid out all that money only 33 days after the man's arrest. That's almost unheard of, say attorneys like Jim Harrington, currently suing Warren PD over the Rodriguez case. But for a case the city was in a hurry to settle, no one was in a hurry to talk about why. Former Mayor Jim Fouts, who was in office at the time, told me he didn't remember the case. His replacement, Mayor Lori Stone, wouldn't return my calls. And the city council, who approved the settlement, said they were barred from talking about the details. Way back in August, the 2 Warren officers who arrested the man had been criminally charged. Officer Player was charged with felonious assault, a 4-year felony, along with a misdemeanor. Officer Taylor was accused of 2 misdemeanors, including assault and battery. The city later fired both. The charges were kept from almost everyone, even city council members like Mindy Moore.
I have questions of why it wasn't released to the public. We have a prosecutor and a police commissioner who are not camera shy.
Prosecutor Pete Lucido issued 13 press releases about people he charged that month, none about this case. After we asked why, his office told us the press release was prepared, but by accident was never sent out. They posted it to their website last week.
I think everybody's aware that this department's very transparent.
A sergeant at the time warned that this oversight not only put the city in legal jeopardy, but should not be brushed aside lightly. However, it was brushed aside, allowing Officer Player to be hired by another law enforcement agency just a year later. There, his continued misconduct led to another violent incident. This time it resulted in a 6-figure settlement paid by taxpayers and felony charges against Officer Player and his partner. The repeated oversight by the authorities showcases a troubling pattern within our law enforcement system, a failure to hold officers accountable. This negligence led to repeated offenses by the same individuals, spotlighting systemic issues in police oversight that demand urgent attention and reform.
Police department's decision to keep an officer's misconduct quiet
You gonna hit me with the door? Or you gonna tase me too?
allowed him to inflict even more pain just down the road.
Open the door, you get tased. Open the door, you get tased.
It cost taxpayers a fortune,
I've never had a single case resolve this quick.
triggered criminal charges,
For the record, could you state your name?
Damien Player.
and showed how ignoring police misconduct only makes it worse.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more content like this.